Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. This is Esha Pradhana Daivi Satviki Sampat. This is the primary divine disposition where we lead a fearless life of pure heart and committed to walk the spiritual path so that our life is fulfilled. This includes Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. Now, to attain that, there are additional supporting aspects of our life, which are Danam, sharing with what we have, because that is our need. Damascha, control over sense organs, so that we do not become the victims of our own weaknesses. And then Yajnaha, Danam, Damascha, Yajnascha. Yajna is meant for reduction of the personal likes and dislikes from our heart, and also for developing the strength to go through the difficulties of life. These two things are done in the yajna. Now the first thing, when we do the yajna, karma as our obligatory duties, what happens that whether we like something or we don't like something, that is never the criteria. Criteria is, it is required to be done, this is a part of our life, yes, then we have to do it. In this manner, we slowly get out of that wrong notion in life, that I will do only what I like and I will not do that I don't like. Or I will eat what I like and I will not eat what I don't like. By this, what happens that we are becoming the victims of our own likes and dislikes. This we don't become aware. And this is achieved through the yajna. Second thing is, when our activities of life leads to release or freedom from these personal likes and dislikes, that is the process of purification of the mind. And this is achieved through the yajna. Then third thing, when we take up something in life as any spiritual practice, contrary to our earlier lifestyle, our mind will start revolting. We ourselves will not like to cooperate with what we have decided. And that time we require two things, inner strength, and second thing, to go through the difficulties with courage. This is achieved through the yajna. And therefore, yajna is a attitude towards activities of life with a view that the yajna is helpful and a purifying factor in our life. This is how Shrauta and the Smarta yajnas are done. Now, one more aspect is added for the yajna. Yajna is done with a view to get our desires fulfilled. So, for fulfillment of the desire, we invoke the divine grace. And in this manner, we bring the element of divinity in our life. Arrival of the element of divinity in our life is called as spiritual practice. And when slowly, the divinity becomes primary and desire becomes secondary. This is how the yajna is a very subtle technique by which so many things are achieved. And therefore, this is called as the Daivi Sampatti, the divine wealth which is required for walking the spiritual path. Danam, Damascha, Yajnascha. Then Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is Rugvedadi Adhyanam Adrushtartham. And Swadhyaya is study of the Vedas, etc., for getting our desires fulfilled about the other world. Now here is another very important subtle point. Those who believe that our life is limited between the birth and the death of the present body, they do not give any opportunity or a chance to themselves to evolve. They will have an attitude, as long as we are in this world, enjoy, even at the cost of anything. Because after the body is dead, everything is over. There is nothing that remains after the death of the body. And this is corrected by the Swadhyaya. Now what the Swadhyaya tells, what the Vedas tell, the first thing the scriptures talk about is the do's and don'ts, vidhi nishedha. By the do's and don'ts, we are inaugurated to the new line of thinking that if we are doing something bad, don't think it will go unaccounted. You will have to pay for that in your next life. If you do something good, you will be benefited by that. Further, whatever problems you have in the present life, they are not created by anyone else. They are your own creation according to the karma that you have done in the last life. This thought of going beyond the present life in the past and the future is the most encouraging thought to think of something higher possibilities in life and never come to a blind end in life. And this is achieved through the Swadhyaya. Therefore, this is one of the most important steps to take a leap on the spiritual path. When we accept our existence beyond the present body, what are the consequences? Think about it. First, there cannot be any criteria which will justify the fear of death. Because when we discard the body, whatever good or bad we have done, for the fulfillment of those karma phalas, we will have to take the next birth. Therefore, there is no question that we will be extinct after the body dies. And therefore, the possibility of fear out of death is bound to be reduced. Second thing, when we have accepted that whatever we have in the present life is the result of our last life's activities, therefore we will stop blaming the world. This is one very important thing in life. When we stop blaming the world, then alone we have become spiritual. As long as we blame the world for the miseries of our life, we are samsari, we are no more spiritual. Because everything that happens in our life may not be understood by us for what it is, but that alone is the thing which happens for our evolution. In this manner, we stop blaming, focus attention on ourselves. Now the third thing, if our present life's joys and sorrows are the results of our actions in the past, today we are responsible for creating our blueprint for the next life. And therefore, we will start behaving, living a proper life of self-discipline to create a better future. This altogether is called as leading a disciplined life of religious existence. And this is called as Swadhyaya. This is very, very important. And this is the thought which is present in every religion. There is no religion where the life after the death of the body is not accepted. Only how is the life after the death of the body is different. But the continuity of existence is accepted in every religion. Now this is one aspect of Swadhyaya. according to what Bhagavan Shankara wrote, Rigvedadi Adhyanam Adrushtartham. Now the second aspect. Swadhyaya means Swasya Adhyanam, observing one's own mind. A person who is able to observe and evaluate the quality of the mind. For example, when we interact with the world, what is the kind of interaction we have every time? Is this interaction born out of likes, out of dislikes? One. Second observation, when we interact, are we depositing the likes and dislikes as a result of the interaction? Second observation. Third observation, are we carrying the load of our own interaction as a habit? Fourth observation, are we becoming aware of our own quality of the mind? In short, are we observing ourselves or not? Swadhyaya therefore means we put ourselves under our own vigilance. When such a person lives his life, he is living a spiritual life. Otherwise, we lose temper and then we justify under this condition anybody will lose temper. We are doing the same mistake again and again and we are proud of our own mistake making. Or we are forgetting the things incessantly and we are proud of our forgetfulness. Or else we are unable to be committed what we have decided and then we say, this is how I am, I don't know what to do. We start justifying our negativities. All these things happen when we are not doing swadhyaya, when we are not becoming aware about our own mind. Swadhyaya, this becomes the divine practice or the divine wealth. Sampata is wealth. So dhanam damascha yajnascha swadhyaya, then tapaha. Tapaha vakshamanam shariradi. This will be told, vakshamanam will be told like sharirik tapas, vachik tapas and the manasik tapas. Now what is the meaning of tapas? Technical meaning. There are 2-3 aspects. This I have explained you in different context. Let us also think about it more detail. Tapas means, one by one we will take. Tapas means the process of heating is called as tapas. Like the impurities are burnt by exposing anything to the heat. For example, the impurities of the gold are burnt by exposing that gold to very high degree temperature. I remember somewhere in South Africa, I think, we had gone to see the gold mines. And there they have shown how that gold ore is poured into that furnace and how the molten gold, then it is put into a mold, then it becomes a brick, and how the impurity is burnt away. They show it as a visiting spot for the tourist. And then they also say that if you can take this brick with your hand, you can carry with you. And the shape and the size of the brick is such, the moment you hold it, it slips from your hand, you can't lift it. So, when the gold is exposed to the heat, impurities are burnt. In the same manner, when we expose ourselves to the difficulties of life, the impurities of our own life are burnt away. Now these difficulties of life we expose in 2 ways. One way, naturally whatever difficulties come in life, we take them as the divine grace and negotiate through the turmoils of life. one way. Like this example I gave you earlier, when we put the clothes in the washing machine, it is not for torturing of the clothes that we put it. The clothes are put in the washing machine so that they can be reused in the same manner. The difficulties in our life are meant for making us more fit. And it is not meant for that the Lord is enjoying up there and He is putting us through torture. No, it is not for that. One. Second thing, when we are going through the usual problems of life with a smile on the face and love in the heart, confidence in the mind, then the second aspect is we create some problems or difficulties for us to discover our inner strength. Tapas is meant for recognition of our own inner potentiality. It is something like this. You decide to, now those who are professional fasting fellows, for them it's a different issue. For them eating food is a torture. But for people like me who never fast, and when you decide that you have to observe Ekadashi, then from the 10th day onward, the tragedy begins. Tomorrow, Ekadashi, now what is to be done? Anyway, let me eat today sufficiently so that tomorrow I can survive. And then tomorrow comes and that day you start feeling more hungry because there is intense contemplation on food, nothing else. And finally we eat. They say there are 2 Ekadashis, so I'll do tomorrow. Let me eat now. And after we eat that, then there is regret. I don't know, I just can't do this. So, we lose self-confidence. Now take the other way around. You decide not to eat, not to eat. May what happen? At the most what will happen, I will die. All problems will be over. So don't eat. Be stubborn. But don't remain stubborn. Learn from that. And what is the learning? That we may think that we cannot do, but we can do. Recognition of one's own potentiality is done through this tapas, through the austerities. Now the third aspect, which is done through this tapas, is we have many wrong notions about life. One of the wrong notion is that we cannot live without something or the other. Like if you want to torture a Punjabi lady, ask her to cook without onion and tomato and paneer and rajma. It is enough punishment. Because Punjabi may start from paneer, P for Punjabi, P for paneer. They just can't think about. And how to cook. And when they come to our Kavilya Dham and eat our food, which has neither onion nor garlic, Swamiji, the food is so good, it is not bad. Yes, it doesn't have onion garlic. How they cook without onion garlic? Meaning, this is our notion that without certain things we cannot survive. These notions are corrected through tapas. See? Extremely essential. And that is why tapas is practiced in life. So what are all the points that we discuss in tapas? First, to discover our own potentiality. Second, to discard our seeming dependence as a weakness. Third, for the purification of our mind. When all these points are brought together, we are practicing tapas. And like, never forget Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. And the highest tapas is ahamapetakam nijavibhanakam. In tapas, we give up something. Higher the sacrifice, more is the tapas. There was a grahastha, he reached a Mahatma in the jungle, And when he reached, that Mahatmaji came out of his kutia and did namaskar to this Grihastha. So that Grihastha was frustrated. Maharaj, what are you doing? You will send me to hell. I am such a papi. You are such a great Mahatma. He said, no, you are great, not me. How come? He said, for getting the infinite reality, I have renounced the finite world. Your sacrifice is more than me. To remain in the relative world, you have renounced the infinite reality. You are greater than me. More the sacrifice, higher is the tapas. And highest sacrifice is the sacrifice of the ego. Whenever ego functions, following things happen. We get hurt every now and then. Like the touch me not plant. Second thing, when our ego is prominent, we seek attention from everyone. Third thing, those who do not appreciate our own greatness according to our standard, they are below standard. These are all the signs of the ego. It has to be given up. Tapas. So dhanam, damascha, yajnascha, svadhyaya, tapa. Then arjavam. Arjavam, rujutvam sarvada. Rujutvam is what? Straightforwardness. Straightforwardness means what? Straightforwardness means leading a simple life. Many times we have got this wrong notion. Straightforwardness means what? I am straightforward. I call spade a spade. It is not necessary to talk the truth when it is not required. Remember, I gave you an example. Suppose a round person is coming. You don't have to say, "Are laddu, come." Now you are telling him the right thing. You are not telling wrong. But that doesn't mean it is right. Therefore, straightforwardness does not mean that our expressions are curt. No. Straightforward doesn't mean that we impose our views on others. Straightforward doesn't mean that whatever I say, that alone is right. Like the human right violation, according to USA, only whatever they say is right. The culture and the civilized society, what is accepted by USA, that should become like their currency, their international standard. No, that is not rujutvam. That is being crooked. Therefore, arjavam rujutvam sarvada. And this must become our natural expression. Not only a showbiz or not only an acting on the stage, but it must become our own nature. So, abhayam sattva samshuddhi jnana yoga vavastitihi, this is the goal. For attaining this, dhanam damascha yajnascha svadhyaya stapa arjavam. Continuing this further in the second verse. Ahimsa satyam akrodha tyaga shantirapaishunam daya bhuteshvalo luptvam mardavam hrira chapalam. Ahimsa, ahimsanam praninam pida varjanam. Ahimsa means not hurting anybody by physical assault, by words or by mind. Ahimsa, ahimsanam praninam pida varjanam. Subtler the instrument of harm, more powerful is the harm. If somebody gets a physical blow, if somebody gets a word blow, and if somebody gets a mental curse, see, physical blow is given by the physical oriented people, and they want to prove how the body strength alone is everything. Those who are not able to do physically because they are cultured, so the cultured people, they hurt others through words, calling them bad words or being sarcastic or very bitter in their expressions. And the third one is those who have invoked the divine potentiality in them through yoga sadhana. So they have got now sankalpa siddhi, they can bless somebody, they can curse somebody, and then they curse. If you do this thing, this will happen to you. And that happens to that man because his sankalpa is so powerful. So all these things fall in the purview of himsa. This falls in the purview of destruction. Therefore, ahimsanam praninam pidavarjanam. One must not become the source of hurt to anybody from one side. If somebody is hurt by your very presence, what can you do? You cannot use, that antardhanam siddhi and go before such a person. You cannot do that. Therefore, from our side, we must never try to hurt anybody. Therefore, the best way is where we disagree. This is another rule, which rule I am following for last many years. The best way to disagree is to agree immediately. There is nothing to discuss about. When I went this time to Cochin, so one person came, I don't know who he was, and he said, hello, what is your surname? So I looked at him, and he looked, mentally derailed. In a big crowd, hundreds and thousands of people, he came. I am so and so. I said, all right. Now, I had to tell you something, very important project I have taken. And he was talking such a language, such an English, that you cannot understand whether he is talking in the past tense or present tense or future tense, or he is beyond all the tenses. And what he said, I could never understand. I said, okay. You understood? Yes, understood. And I left that place, got with someone else. So afterwards, one person said, Swamiji, why you said yes to him? I said, I say yes to you also. He said, nobody was talking all nonsense. I said, look here. To argue with the nonsense people is the worst kind of foolishness. Therefore, the best way is agree immediately to disagree with anything. This is a very simple technique. Therefore, ahimsa. Don't hurt others and don't get hurt by others. Both ways. Ahimsa. Then satyam. Apriya anrita varjitam. Yatha bhutartha vachanam. So, apriya anrita varjitam. See, two things. You know the technical words for the absolute reality, Parabrahma, Paramatma. What is the technical word? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma or Satchit Ananda. If we are talking Sat, without respecting the Chit and the Ananda, it is 1/3 truth. And the truth cannot be 1/3. It is 100%. Absolute cannot be fractioned. And therefore Bhagavan says, Satyam is apriya anrita varjitam. That which is apriya, we need not speak. Even if it is true, you don't have to tell. This is another important principle. We must talk the truth, but we also must know when to talk. Otherwise, when it is not required, there is no need. Keep your mouth shut. Apriya and anrita varjitam. Anrita varjitam is where that which is not there is said. Only to praise somebody, only to please somebody we say so many things. This is also anrita, this is also the lack of truthfulness. And if we go one more step further, I'll add something to this, what Bhagwan Shankar has said. You talk anything, it is asatya. Because about the illusory world, what will you talk? If you write an article, the quality of mirage water harvested from Kerala, Rajasthan and Assam, and write a beautiful article, and you can get it published by payment. But that doesn't mean you are talking the truth, because you can never talk truth about the illusion. Second thing, you can never talk about the truth, because the moment you talk, it becomes untruth. Na tatra vag gacchati. See? Therefore, satyam means what? Therefore, satyam means keep your mouth shut. This is one way. Another way, if we have to talk, let us talk about Paramatma. Remember our Narad Bhakti Sutra? Pujadishu anuragaha iti parasharyaha kathadishu iti gargaha. If we have to talk, we talk about the Lord, His glory, His Leela, the lives of the saints and sages, the lives of the devotees. That is called a Satyam. Otherwise, anything that will substantiate the miseries as real is Asatya. Anything that will take us nearer to the reality is Satya. Therefore, Ahimsa Satyam. And a person who is walking the path of truth will never be drifted away in the world of relativity. In one place, Bhagwan Shankaracharya has defined Satya in different way. There he was talking about the speech. So, Satya he refers, Satya means that where the experience of the speaker is transmitted to the listener as it is. So, this is called as the Satyam. Here in the 17th chapter, Bhagavan says, Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya bhasanam chaiva vangmayam tapauchyate. So here, yat satyam vakyam anudvegakaram priyam priyahitancha yat tat paramam tapo vangmayam. So that statement which does not create any kind of disharmony in the mind of the listener is Satya. Para pratyayanartham prayuktasya vakyasya satya priya hita anudvega karatvad anyatamaina dvabhyam tribhirva hinata syad yadi na tadvangmayam tapaha. Here Bhagavan says, if our Satya or speech does not have the two aspects in addition to the Sat, two aspects are Chit and Ananda, then it is not Satya. Therefore, Satyam is this. Satyam apriya andrita varjitam. Then akrodaha. This is another very important spiritual practice. Akrodaha paraihi akrishtasya abhihatasya va praptasya krodhasya upashamanam. According to the modern psychology, this will be called as suppression. But we have to begin with suppression and convert the suppression into sublimation by educating ourselves. Now what is that? Paraihi akrishtasya, even if shouted by others, or abhihatasya, or even somebody has insulted, physical assault, va praptasya krodhasya upashamanam, as a result of which we have tremendous anger in us, and the ability to quieten that anger as a revolt of the mind is called as akrodha. You know, this word krodha is very beautiful. It means that which does not allow the happiness to manifest is called as anger. See? Kam means sukham. Kam sukham, runadhi obstructs, is called as krodham. That which does not allow the manifestation of the happiness is krodha, anger. Now can we say, I am extremely angry but very happy? It cannot be. And if we are not happy, we go away from our own self. Therefore, krodha and akrodha. Now see what happens about its krodha. There are 2-3 important things to be known about krodha. Like the fire, when it comes or when it is invoked in anything, the first thing the fire does is burn where the fire is invoked. See, you ask some children, first condition their mind. There was a man, he was smoking like hell. He could not stop smoking continuously. And such a man was called. And he was told, man, here there is a cigarette and here there is a candle. And here there is a matchbox. So what he will light the first thing? So earlier we already conditioned mind that he was extremely terrible smoker. So when this is said, what we will say? He will first light the cigarette. No. He will first light the matchstick and then the cigarette. Now where that matchstick is lit, the first thing that the fire will burn will be the matchstick and then anything else. In the same manner, where the anger is invoked, that heart starts burning first. An angry person is his own enemy. And when the anger takes possession of a person, Mahashanaha, Mahapapma, Vidyenamiha Vairinam. You remember in the 3rd chapter, Bhagavad said, in reply to Arjuna's question, Athakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. O Lord, prompted by whom, although not desiring, one follows the wrong path. There the Lord said, Kama esha krodha esha. This is desire alias anger. And what the desire alias anger does? Desire is maha ashanaha. He is a terrible consumer, does not get satiated. Desires are never satiated. And anger mahapapma. When a person is under the spell of anger, he can do anything in life. And in Bhagwan Shankara's thought, what is the worst thing that we can do is to talk to the Guru with little higher pitch. It is the highest expression of anger. So, akrodha, he who is able to recognize that Anger is for our own detrimental effect. It can never help us. Second thing, when a person starts getting angry every now and then, the value of his anger is lost. I have seen one Sindhi, very angry personality. He can become angry for no reason. By default, he was angry. And his daughter, who was about 20 or 22, I have seen. Something happened and I was in their house. Became so angry. To that daughter, 22, he gave one. And afterwards, when I finished my eating, I said, I'll get another, I eat better quietly. Because she didn't want to eat something on the table. She gave one. And after all that was over, then I went to her room. I said, hey, darling, don't feel bad. You know how much he loves you. He always talks about, Swamiji, don't come and patch me up. This is not new to me. My father is a normally angry person. If he doesn't become angry 10 times a day, he starts losing his balance. So anger is necessary for him, like breathing is necessary for us. Therefore, none of us give any value to his anger. Like we tolerate the noise and the pollution in Bombay, like we tolerate the traffic jam. So outside, we tolerate his anger inside our house. See? That anger which is not respected, what is the use of such anger? It is called as a barking. So, akrodaha. The more you think about these various aspects of the anger, to that extent we can free ourselves from the impact of anger. So, ahimsa satyam akrodaha. When this is said, you know what is one of the arguments against this? No, but unless you become angry, work is not done. Now that you determine what you want in life. If you want to get the work done at the cost of your own spiritual evolution, go ahead and bang your head and come to a conclusion towards the end of your life that your work has not added anywhere in the whole universe. But one thing is certain, that you have destroyed your own opportunity to grow spiritually. That is what I was telling you. Spirituality is never done half-heartedly. Either you are spiritual or you are not spiritual. Otherwise, those people who are, justifying their anger, they will never get rid of the anger. There is nothing that can justify the anger. We have to get rid of it. Otherwise, we become victim of our own anger. And such people, angry people, anger is an expression not of the strength, it is an expression of weakness. Can we imagine that there was a group of lions walking and you were going and all of them started barking at you? Oh, because they are lions, they are roaring and barking. No. Lion only roars once. And our Bombay dog, non-stop. Because there is no strength. Therefore, anger is an expression of weakness. It is never an expression of strength. Anger is an expression of accepting one's, not accepting, recognizing one's inabilities, but not accepting them. When this expresses, it is called as anger. Therefore, let us be very clear, nothing in this world can justify anger. Akrodaha. Then tyagaha. We have seen earlier, danam yatha shakti samvibhagaha annadinam. Sharing what we have is charity. Now what is tyagaha? Tyagaha is sannyasaha, purvam danasya uktatvat. So, tyaga cannot be taken as dana because we already said earlier dana. So what is the meaning of tyaga, sannyasaha? Here, tyaga means what? While explaining dhanam, I have told you, when we practice charity or give dhanam, that which we have given in charity, for that the value of the object is kept intact. And in tyaga, the value of that object is zero. See? When we give a good fruit to somebody to eat, he was hungry, I was feeling so bad, therefore I thought, let me give him something, it will be satiating his hunger. So in that fruit I have a value for others, and I am a great man of charity. And if I have not given anything to anybody, it has become spoiled, it has started smelling, then we throw it away. Why don't you give it to someone to eat? No, it is all bad smelling. So what? No, it can't be given, it is rotten. So that what we throw away is tyaga. And therefore, tyaga is far superior than the dhanam. Please remember, renunciation is far superior than charity, because the effect of these two is different. In case of charity, the value for the worldly objects is kept intact. In case of renunciation, the world is devalued. And unless we devalue the world, we will never give up the world and grow spiritually. And therefore here tyaga is the divine wealth. Tyagaha, sannyasaha. That is why, our Kaivalya Upanishad, Munduka Upanishad, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amrutatva manashuho. One of the most important spiritual practice is this. In the life of many Mahatmas, our Swamiji's guru used to be Tapovan Maharaj, a very strict disciplinarian, as told, we have not seen him. And when somebody is to give him some sweets, he will just keep it. He himself will not eat it, he will not give anybody to eat. And when after 5, 6, 7 days he will open, oh, it is all spoiled, very good, go and throw in the Ganges. But he will not give to anybody. So the students used to feel, look here, why he is spoiling and throwing it away? Why he doesn't give us to eat? Now see what is happening. As long as we have anything in this world is valuable, we will never discard. And ultimately we have to discard the body identification. And if the body identification has to be discarded, and we keep on nurturing and looking after the body with all kinds of things under the disguise, shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhanam, and keep on nurturing and pampering the body, no. Therefore tyagaha, slowly we start devaluation of everything in this world, and then ultimately devaluation of our wrong notions. What is the wrong notion? Then I am the body, I am the prana, I am the mind, or I am the soul, the jiva. When these wrong notions are rejected, devalued, then only aham brahmasmi experience will take place, not otherwise. Therefore, tyaga is extremely essential. And when we thus grow or want to grow spiritually, it is necessary that, Munduka Upanishad will tell us, Yamai vesha vrunute tena labhyaha tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. He who has chosen Paramatma to the exclusion of everything else, to him alone the truth is revealed and not to anyone else. And therefore, Tyagaha is an extremely important divine wealth that we must practice in life. About this, many stories comes in the lives of many Mahatmas. Like in the life of Tulsidas ji, a story comes. Once two thieves approached him in the morning and they said, "Sir, we want to see your watchman. Last night we came to loot you and we saw two young, smart, sweet watchmen. And after seeing them, we did not feel like looting and therefore we went back because they were very well prepared. We want to see them." And then Tulsidas understands it was the Lord who came and who was protecting Tulsidas ji. He said, "The Lord has to come and protect me because I am still holding on to this kutia and little small things in my life." That also he gave up. Tyage naike amritatva manashu. Therefore, all these events, episodes, stories, they tell that as long as anything in this world is important for us, the Lord is not important for us. Therefore, Tyagaha is a divine wealth. Tyagaha. Then, do you mean that everybody should become sannyasi? Don't cry. I am not talking to those who do not want the truth. Very clearly. This is how many times happens. In Hyderabad it once happened. After I finished my talk, there was question answer session. So one elderly man came. I said, "You come on the stage and please talk, so that everybody knows your question." And I reply. He came, "Do you mean that everybody should become a sannyasi or what?" So I asked, "Hey, everybody is clear about the question?" "Yes, please go and sit, I'll reply." He went and sat back. Then I said, "Now you all were hearing my talk, I hope. Now tell me, did I mention even once that you all should become sannyasi? Tell me." He said, "No." I said, "Look here, your question is answered." I said, "Anyway, whichever way you have understood, I'll tell you. Please don't become sannyasi. If you all will become sannyasi, where will I go? Because we are surviving on your ignorance. Continue to be miserably samsari. Tyage naiki amrutatva manashuhu." Therefore, Tyaga is far, far superior than mere charity. In charity, you are unloading to get ready to load again. In Tyaga, you are unloading for good, never to load again. Therefore, ahimsa satyam akrodaha tyagaha. About this Tyaga, the story is come in Bhagavad. When Prahlad ji or Dhruva ji or great devotees of the Lord, they are told by the Lord, "Come on, I'll take you to the heavens." No, I don't want to go. Why? Alone, I want to take everybody with me. Okay, take everybody. Who wants that Paramatma? The story starts from sannyasis, grahasthas, everybody, up to the animals. Because Tyaga is not in our blood. That is why Tyagaha is very, very important. And you know the most funny part? We all do Tyaga. But we don't recognize that we have done Tyaga. The recognition of this renunciation is called as spiritual practice. How we do this Tyaga renunciation? When we go to deep sleep, what do? We 100% give up our identification with the body, gross body. When we give up identification with the gross body 100%, we have given up the gross world. And those who are not able to sleep, means what happens? They are not able to practice this tyaga, this renunciation. Meaning, we all every day practice renunciation. Alas, we have not recognized this is tyaga. Becoming aware of our own life's experiences is called as the adhyatmic sadhana, the spiritual practice. So when we continue to exist, even in the absence of identification with the gross body during the deep sleep, when we continue to exist without identification with the subtle body in the deep sleep, when we continue to exist without identification with the causal body in the samadhi, means what? Means our existence is independent of all these conditionings. Recognition of this is called as tyaga. Very, very important. Tyaga is so simple that it is something like this. I take somebody's car and announce, I give up this car because I have tremendous dispassion for the car. Then I am asked a question. Is it your car? No. It is somebody else's car. Do I have a right to give up somebody else's object? No. So means what? When this body was ours, that we claim that I have given up identification with the gross body. Recognition of this. Nothing ever belonged to this world, in this world to us. Recognition of this fact. Never anything will ever belong to us. And thus, living in total freedom from possessiveness of this world is called as real renunciation. In our Sadachar, if you remember, Dehanyaso hi sannyasaha naiva kashaya vasasa. Living in renunciation with the disidentification with the body is called as the real sannyas. Not by only the tailor-made sannyas, by changing the clothes, etc. So, ahimsa satyama krodha tyagaha. Then, shantihi. Shanti is what? Shantihi antakarnasya upashamaha. Dama was bahya karananam upashamaha. Shanti is antakarnasya upashamaha. You know, this Shanti is such a beautiful thing. If you practice Shanti, you have practiced all other things. What you have been reading? Dhanam, damascha, yajnascha, swadhyaya, staparjavam, ahimsa, satyama, krodha, tyagaha, and abhayam, sattva, samshuddhi, jnana, yoga, vyavasthiti. Everything is included in the Shanti. Bhayam is fear. Abhayam is absence of fear. When you are not afraid, you are shant. See? Then sattva samshuddhi. When your mind is pure, you are shant. Then jnana yoga vyavasthiti. You have clear understanding about the truth and you are abiding in the truth. You are shant. Then dhanam. When you are normally, casually able to share whatever you have with the world. You will not be possessive, you will remain shant. You will not have fear that you have to give something to somebody. Damaha, when your external instruments of knowledge and action do not torture you through temptations, then you are shant, you are at peace. Then yajnaha, when we do all our duties sincerely with joy, we are shant. Then swadhyaya, when we study, become aware of our mind. When we become aware that our mind is likely to go the wrong way, immediately that awareness brings peace. Then tapaha, when we are ready to go through the difficulties of life with peace, we are at peace. Shanti. Arjavam, when we are straightforward, we don't have to play tricks, then we remain shanta. Ahimsa, when we are non-injurious to anybody, we don't have to be cruel. Similarly, Satya, when we talk about the truth, there is nothing that can disturb us. Akrodaha, when we are not taking refuge in anger with any reason, then the peace, shanti is natural. Tyagaha, when we have renounced the whole world, there is no reason that can disturb us. Therefore, as if starting from abhayam up to tyagaha is summarized in one word, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. See? That is why one of the most effective spiritual practice is this: remain calm and quiet. But that calm and quietness should not be like that of a dull-witted, depressed person. It should be an intelligent one, with understanding, with wisdom. Shantihi antakarnasya upashamaha. If you remember in Vivek Chudamani we have studied, Viveka, discrimination, leads to dispassion. Viveka and dispassion, Viveka Vairagya, when they start becoming more and more functional, we develop Shama, Dama, Uparati, Shraddha, Titiksha, 5 of them, as a result of which Samadhan. Mind remains at peace naturally. And friends, peaceful mind is our natural state. Disturbed mind is not our natural state. And therefore, we all want to get rid of the disturbances of the mind. So Shanti means returning back to our original status. And that original status is absolute bliss. Therefore, Ahimsa Satyam Akrodha Tyagaha Shantihi. And then comes Apaishunam. Api Shunata Parasmai Pararandhra Prakatikaranam Paishunam Tad Abhavaha Apaishunam. Paishunam means what? Finding out the faults of others and revealing them to the public is called as Paishunam. Apaishunam means not helping reveal somebody else's shortcomings to the world. We have no business. Why should we speak about somebody's shortcomings? Somebody is like that, yes, somebody is like that. We don't have to speak. There is no need. But there is a saying in Subhashitas, in the Sanskrit literature, even a huge blemish in one's eye is not seen, and a small little defect in the other eye is immediately seen. Therefore, apaishunam, when we do not reveal the shortcomings of others. Like Udaya Babaji was visited by every type of person. Saints, sages, great Mahatmas, Grahasthas, thieves, dacoits, everybody is to come. The dacoits will come with their gun and all those days. That AK-47 was not there that time. There used to come the local guns. They'll come. And one of them will stand, and their dada, their main person, he'll hand over his gun to his subordinate and come without anything and do namaskar, take blessings and go. Now those people used to be the one on whom government has already announced 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. But he will never say one word that somebody is bad, somebody is good. No. He has come as a devotee, he is only a devotee. We are not appointed in this world to judge anybody. Please remember. The other day, I was, in Bombay talking to the judges, High Court judges. And there, in the first statement itself, it was said that, I have one friend, Justice Bhargav, very good friend of mine, and very close. So I used to play fool with him sometime, and I told him, I said, hey, what kind of your name is Justice Bhargava? You never deliver justice, you deliver only judgment. Those who deliver judgment, they take themselves to be absolutely, perfectly clean. We cannot judge others. Very important. Therefore, apayishunam. Whenever we judge others, we have taken our attention away from the divinity in that person. One. When we want to imagine that I have great compassion when I see the miserable people, you are not seeing the divinity in him. Anything that will bring an obstacle in the perception of divinity in the people is wrong. Therefore, apayishunam. When we insist not speaking ill about anybody, this is one of the most essential spiritual practice. Again and again try. It's very important. But once something comes in our mind, I think I should say this thing about this person. And you say, no, I am not going to say. After 2 seconds, again it comes. Again you push it down. Again it comes. And finally, I should not say, but I say, and we say it, now relieved. Just watch. Apayishunam, whenever we have to talk about somebody, we must not speak negative things. Otherwise, like in one military temple I have seen, I always remember the military temple. In military temple, all the gods were standing in attention. And in between the gods were some nice sayings. And in one of the saying it was said, when we see the faults of others, those faults enter our bosom. When we see our own faults, they get out of our bosom. See how beautiful it is. Therefore, apayishunam. We must not ever think of this. There was a girl, she told me, now she is a grandmother, she told me. She said, Swamiji, when we were children, my father used to be a principal of a school. And naturally, I being his daughter, we used to have a special status in the school. And there was one teacher who was very strict, and I never used to like him. So one day, I told my father, Papa, he is a very bad teacher, you remove him, he is not good, this thing, that thing, and started the complaint. He said, wait a minute. Before you tell him bad thing about him, either you say there is nothing good in him, I agree, or before you tell any bad about him, kindly tell me 10 good points about him. Or say there is not a single good point. No, not that way. Then tell. So she started enumerating. His handwriting is so beautiful. One. Second thing, he really takes effort to teach us. 2. 3. His teaching is perfect. 4. He checks all our homework individually. So she enumerated 10 points. Now you tell what is bad in him. When you talk 10 good points about anybody, your own mouth feels ashamed of taking bad thing about the same person. Apaishunam. There is no reason that we bring out the negative points in anybody's life. Who doesn't have? Every one of us. The other day, one person came and told Swamiji, my wife is so egoistic, I don't know what I should do. I said, you go away from me. He said, why, Swamiji, what happened? I said, I am also egoistic. Who told you I am not egoistic? Then I told him, I said, look here, you should thank God that your wife is egoistic. If the ego will leave the body, it will be a dead body. Every living person is an embodiment of ego. If you have discovered that the ego that you are is essentially divine, with that vision look at the world, you will see nothing but divinity. Calling someone else as egoistic is an equal expression of accepting oneself to be egoistic. Therefore, apaishunam. How beautiful this word is. Apishunata paraspai pararandra prakatikaranam paishunam tat abhavaha apaishunam. So, ahimsa satyama krodaha tyagaha shantihi apaishunam. Then, daya bhuteshu. Daya kripa bhuteshu dukkhiteshu. When we have compassion, love for all the beings, and here I would like to add 1 or 2 more things. Compassion and concern about the miseries and difficulties of others should not mean that they are unfortunate, poor things. No. Our heart, if it melts by seeing the miseries of others and remains only in a boiling condition, it is an abnormality. It is not spiritual practice. Our hands must start functioning to serve that unfortunate person. Then alone that compassion has a meaning. There are a few more aspects about this daya, compassion. On this topic of compassion, I have many disagreements with many people. We'll see it in our next class.
Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.